Hey everyone, good morning from Tokyo again. It's really early morning actually, and I'm just taking a stroll right now. Uh, Alright, let me show you something. Some cool shit. That is a foot massage thing. You see that? Yeah. It makes it look like it's for old people, but yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I can't. I can only try this one because I can't take my shoes off right now. I don't have the time. But yeah, this is actually a pretty neat park for even for Tokyo because most parks are not like this. I mean, most small ones. They're much smaller, and they are also like they don't have any equipment whatsoever. So that was actually pretty unique. But yeah, all right. So this morning I've been thinking about how much of success and failure really depends on planning. So here's a question, right? Take something as simple as waking up early next morning, right? Or being on time for a certain meeting, right? If you had to appear on television tomorrow and you had to show up at the studio for 3 p.m. It's a live telecast at 3:30 and shit, and you have to get ready, you have to get makeup and all that stuff. So that's an event that you have to go to tomorrow for a big interview, right? You would plan your day in such a way, the previous night, you would plan your day in such a way that no matter what happened, you would cancel your appointments before. You would make sure you eat at the right time. You would make sure you wake up at a certain time and do some stuff, maybe get a haircut, whatever. I don't know what you do, right? But you would plan that entire day up to that event. You would cancel stuff afterwards, whatever, right? You would be like so dialed in for tomorrow, and take care of, like, for example, uh, backups, like, hey, okay, if does my car have enough petrol, or like, make sure you show up early, ask a friend to give you a ride home, to give you a ride if whatever. Like, you would think of backup plans on what could go wrong, and you would just have everything dialed in, right? You would buy new clothes, whatever. I don't know what you would do. I've never been on TV, right? um, but you would do all that planning to ensure success, right? And some people, you wouldn't even eat something weird so that you don't fall sick on that day of performance, right? And that's how much you would plan for success on that day. Now, contrast that with how we usually live our lives and how we often fail to do things like waking up early, let's say. Right? Let's say you want to wake up early tomorrow for small things, how much we don't prepare for small things. Like, we are very comfortable in preparing for big things, but we don't apply any sort of intensity whatsoever to the small things. So I've been doing 75 Hard, which is a program for mental toughness recently by a guy named Andy Frisella. I don't like everything he says, but he seems like a really cool guy, and I've learned a lot from him. And but anyway, so the program calls for 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each. Cannot be 44 or 43. One workout has to be outdoors. You have to have a strict diet. You have to read 10 pages of a book. You have to drink a gallon of water, not like not even an ounce short. I don't know what an ounce is because I don't live in America, but not a single milliliter short of a gallon, which is up like 3.8 ish liters. Um, and and yeah, you have to. What else is there? Like, yeah, you can't miss anything. You have to do that for 75 days straight, or else you go back to day one, right? Uh, and I've failed a few times, and each time I fail, I learn something. Usually, sometimes it's like, oh, the end of the day, I forgot to do a workout, but I'm so tired with stuff that I just fall unconscious, and you know, next day I wake up and like, holy shit, I forgot one workout, or I skipped the reading, or like something like that, right? So that happened to me a couple of times, and you realize that it's not just about mental toughness, but also about building skills to on how to succeed even when life throws a curveball, like even when things go against the plan. Like, let's say you have a trip somewhere outside, right? You go on a trip, or you um, just something shows up, right? You get sick, whatever, and one of the biggest things I've learned is that you have to, first of all, you know, 90% of success in this program is really about planning and preparation. There's also another 10%, which is like making the decision that you will not fail tomorrow, which is part of planning, right? The reason why you plan for something is that you don't want to fail, which means that you've decided to succeed. Like, it's already a given that you will not fail, right? If you don't plan, you're not really serious, right? So the same television analogy, if you weren't serious about succeeding, if you weren't serious about it, you'd probably not even plan the day. Like, yeah, I'll show up at 3 p.m., whatever, Oh, 3:30? Oh, okay. And then 2:59, you're like, oh, holy shit, I'm late. Like, I gotta run. Like, and you forget shit, and you like, just, the whole thing is falls apart, right? You might even be late to the actual recording, and they might skip you and be like, oh, the anchor of the show had to do something else because you weren't even fucking there. I don't know what, right? So, wait, am I still recording? Because I can't see my phone. Okay, I'm still recording. Okay, this is the park, by the way, Hiromachi Mirai Park. It's in Suganami. Pretty nice park, right? Anyway, back to my face. So yeah, like 90% of success in anything, especially the small things, is preparation, right? So right now, what I've started doing is, before the day ends, I've been really drilling down into my plan for the next day. Like, if I have to wake up at 6, okay, right? How do I make sure I wake up at 6? And, don't fall back asleep, okay. So I decide that, okay, as soon as I wake up, I'm gonna put on my shoes, which are right, like my sock. My shoes are not in my room because it's Japan, and you have to, you have to keep it outside the house in a way. But I have my socks, my workout, the fucking, finger socks, which have fingers, toes, I mean. So I have those socks right next to my bed. I have these, like, I'm wearing shorts, so I keep those shorts, on a chair, so that I can, as soon as I wake up, I can, change into those shorts, put on my socks, and I brush my teeth, and I just put on the socks and I leave, right? I don't wait around. I don't hang around in my room or whatever. Okay, my Apple Watch is saying shit. And then I decide, okay, well, when I get home, what do I eat? What do I eat for breakfast? I don't want to waste time. So then yesterday I prepared some overnight oats. I mean, I've been eating overnight oats for a while, right? But sometimes I miss the preparation part. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll just cook them in the morning, whatever, right? And but now it's like, no, you have to prepare, you have to plan for an inevitable successful day tomorrow, right? Overall, like not just in the morning or not just the routine, but overall, right? So yeah, you have to know what you're going to eat for breakfast and when, what you're going to do after breakfast, what you're going to do for lunch. Do you have it in the store? Like, do you have it in the fridge? Like, what are you gonna cook? If you're gonna cook, when are you gonna cook, right? Um, and are you gonna like whatever? Like basically, the whole day should be planned out, and you should have as little space as possible for something to go wrong. It's not like everything has to go according to plan, but even if something goes wrong, your plan should be resilient enough. You should have alternatives. You should have a backup plan, whatever. That tomorrow has to be successful, right? Here's the top priority. Here's the second best. Here's the third best outcome for tomorrow. And that just the act of planning in that level does something, does some chemical reactions in your brain, whatever, I don't know. It just makes you focus. It just makes you much more driven and much more serious and much more like unstoppable, right? And that state of mind, when you're like certain and sharp and you're like, yeah, it's gonna be an amazing day. In your case, since you're going to be on TV, you're gonna be on TV, it's gonna be amazing, you're gonna look fantastic, whatever. And even if something goes wrong, you have a backup plan for that, right? um, that is I've learned it's a really good habit. I think of like all the times I've succeeded ever in my life in anything, um, whether it's a small test in school or like whether it's an event or any kind of um, place where I had to perform in some way, right? There were some ladies back there like just walking their dogs and gave me weird looks. I mean the good kind of weird, not like the weird kind of weird. If that makes sense. But yeah, every time I've actually performed, I've always like been in a certain state of mind where I was serious. I had planned for performance. I had prepared for performance, and I didn't leave performance to chance. Right? When I showed up for my college entrance exams in India, I didn't show up like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll just do whatever. Like, I studied hard for like 2 years, right? So we prepare really hard in school, and we build that muscle, and then we promptly, what school fails to teach you, I think what school could be an amazing thing, right? School could, if the only thing school has to change to teach you, right, is that, hey, number one, set the goal, set the report card you want for yourself, set the outcome you want for yourself, and then prepare for it. School teaches you preparation, but school doesn't say, all right, the next step is set a goal outside of academics and learn to apply the same principles. Learn to study and prepare for every kind of test, every kind of decision, not just when you have an exam, right? Not just in terms of study, but just start preparing for everything. You want to wake up early? Prepare. You want to, eat clean? Prepare. Okay. One thing about Tokyo is that people just never smile. And that's not just because I'm being weird, like recording myself on camera early in the morning, right? Well, that might be part of it. But there's nobody around, you know? Like, yeah, whatever. I'll stop recording now because I'm kind of done with what I wanted to say. You got the point, right? Start preparing for shit. Don't let chance take over, and don't like live on autopilot, right? I mean, you can live on autopilot, but in a way that's you already prepared, right? So, all right, that's the video.